What if your dog has spent their whole existence hoping you'd finally do one particular action, yet you've been doing the exact opposite each and every day without realizing it? Most pet parents are convinced they're handling everything correctly, but there are subtle things your dog desperately needs from you that hardly anyone ever mentions. Welcome to my channel, Labrador Mind. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. I create videos that help you truly decode what your dog is trying to communicate, and today's message is one of the most essential I've ever shared. Here's what makes this so tough to accept. These aren't complex tasks. They don't cost money. They don't take much time. Here's the first thing your dog has been longing for. So number one is that you have to provide them with a space that genuinely belongs to them. Has your dog ever slipped under the bed, squeezed behind the sofa, or tucked themselves into a room corner when the house got noisy or hectic, and you drag them out thinking there was an issue? Most owners do exactly that. They see it as a problem needing a solution. But in that instant, your dog wasn't seeking rescue. They were requesting just one simple thing, and you removed it. Dogs come from ancestors who relied on dens for survival, not now and then, but daily. For a wild canid, a den wasn't an extra perk. It was the line between security and vulnerability. That ancient drive didn't vanish when your dog claimed your sofa. It's still operating in the background every time they feel stressed. Studies published in Applied Animal Behavior Science discovered that dogs given a reliable enclosed resting area display reduced cortisol levels, the stress hormone tied to ongoing tension, versus dogs without one. Now take a look at your living space. If your dog lacks a true personal zone, no open door crate with their blanket, no quiet nook they can escape to without interruption or relocation, then every tense situation at home becomes a challenge they face in total isolation. They're not overreacting when they hide. And if that one caught you off guard, stay tuned, because the next one is why so many dogs develop anxiety that their owners never link back to their own actions. Number two, I would say that you must quit petting them when they haven't invited it. Be truthful with yourself. When your dog is stretched out on the floor and you pass by, do you automatically reach down to stroke them? When they're resting peacefully and you settle nearby, do your hands instinctively go to their head? Of course they do. You adore your dog. But here's how that moment appears from their perspective. Dogs possess what experts refer to as personal space and independence, and it holds far greater importance for them than most owners understand. Each time you start contact your dog never requested, you're adding a small bit to what researchers call learned helplessness. One or two instances? No issue. But repeated unsolicited touches day after day, week after week, train your dog that their body isn't really theirs, that their signals don't count, that you'll proceed however you please no matter what they try to express. A study from the University of Bristol's School of Veterinary Sciences revealed that dogs who had greater say in interactions with their owners displayed notably fewer anxiety signs and displacement actions, while building tighter social connections than dogs in more owner-directed exchanges. The research is delivering a message most owners prefer not to face. More contact isn't better. Patience is better. So what does an invitation from a dog actually look like? It's the chin gently placed on your knee. It's the nose nudging under your palm. It's the calm approach that finishes with them leaning their body against your leg. Those are the signals. Those are your dog selecting you. Number three, lower yourself to the floor with them. When was the last time you sat down on the ground alongside your dog? Not to tidy up a mess, not to fasten their leash, not to check an injury, just to be there at their eye level with zero purpose. Consider your dog's everyday experience for a moment. You seem gigantic. From their viewpoint, you're a massive, quick-moving presence who manages meals, entrances, timetables, and focus. Canine cognition research has repeatedly demonstrated that dogs interpret body position and physical scale as indicators of authority and potential danger, much like their wild relatives read cues from packmates or threats. Most dogs will regard you in a new way almost instantly. Some will rise and cautiously come closer. Others will simply unwind more fully because, perhaps for the first time in ages, they don't have to stay alert around you. This approach is especially effective for adopted dogs, timid ones, or any dog that startles at sudden movements. You might invest months in confidence building with treats and cues. Or you could spend 10 minutes daily on the floor and allow your posture to communicate what language never manages. Your dog has been hoping you'd enter their realm. Most owners never consider it. Don't be like most owners, and remain here, because the following point is one that practically all dog owners mishandle daily, and it's a primary cause of reactive behavior that owners rarely trace back to home life. Number 4. Allow them to complete the sniff. How often have you tugged your dog away from an intriguing scent on the pavement? How many times have you tightened the leash when they wanted to explore a clump of grass, a mailbox post, or a spot another dog passed days earlier? If you're typical, the number is endless, and each of those interruptions steals something meaningful from your dog. A dog's nose holds roughly 300 million scent receptors. Humans have about 6 million. The brain region dogs use for scent analysis is about 40 times larger in proportion than ours. When your dog lowers their nose to the earth, they're not wasting time. They're absorbing a complete universe of details. Who passed by, what they consumed, if they felt tense or relaxed, whether it's a familiar dog, all pouring in from one single inhalation. Interrupting that process halfway is like slamming a book shut just before the final chapter, over and over, every single day. Research published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs granted longer sniffing periods on walks exhibited clearly lower stress hormone levels afterward, compared to dogs who covered the same distance, without pausing to investigate. The solution is straightforward. Slow the pace. Choose a path where pauses are okay. Use a cue like go sniff, and then truly let them take the lead. This is number 5. Create a predictable pattern they can rely on. Does your dog hover by the door just before you normally arrive home, even on days you're delayed? Do they appear in the kitchen at mealtime with more precision than your phone's reminder? That's not an adorable habit. That's your dog revealing exactly what they require most from you, and most owners confuse it for something they're providing when they're actually removing it without noticing. Dogs don't perceive time like we do, in minutes, hours, or dates. They perceive it through sequences. Meals happen, then comes activity, then the calm period before the next outing. A study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior determined that inconsistent daily schedules ranked among the strongest factors in ongoing anxiety for household dogs, often more influential than missing socialization or past distress. And the interruptions they tracked weren't extreme. Here's what so many owners overlook entirely. They desire a calmer, more loving, less reactive companion, but they fail to link that to consistency. A dog uncertain about what comes next keeps their nervous system on partial alert, and a dog stuck in partial alert lacks the ability to connect with you completely, even when you're right beside them, even when everything else seems fine. Consistency is what lowers the defenses, and a dog with lowered defenses is finally free to love you with everything they have. One last point, and this final one strikes deepest because you've had countless opportunities to do it every day, yet no one ever explained how much it counts. Number 6. Speak to them out loud with real conversation. Do you talk to your dog? Not just commands. Actually converse with them, the same way you would with a close companion sharing your days. Most people confess they do this privately and then feel a little silly about it. They shouldn't. Because that natural habit you've been following quietly is actually one of the most valuable things you can offer your dog. Here's an aspect almost always missed in discussions about dog behavior. Dogs have shared life with humans for somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years, according to varying estimates. In that span, they didn't merely adapt to us. They developed the ability to read us deeply, our expressions, our movements, our emotions, and especially our voices. No other tamed species has refined this skill to the same extent. Not horses, not cats, nothing else on the planet. Your dog's brain has been molded over countless generations to tune in to the human voice. Research published in the journal Animal Cognition showed that dogs analyze spoken language using the same two-sided brain pathways humans do, separating both the content of words and the emotional delivery. They're not simply detecting noise, they're interpreting real communication. And when a dog realizes they're truly noticed, not only fed, exercised, and handled, something profound awakens in them that no obedience class or fancy gadget could ever achieve. Most owners spend years hoping their dog will offer them more closeness, more peacefulness, more connection. But connection isn't something you passively receive. It's something you construct, moment by moment, through patience, presence, and the courage to finally use the language your dog has mastered since the day they arrived.